Hey drivers, what's going on? Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. I'm actually in my car on home time. How's that, right? I was out this last time for 48 days. So I just wanted to give you guys a bit of an update about Prime Logistics. I recently switched from lease purchase to company driver. And the reason for that was the lease purchase just didn't work out for me. You might want to give it a shot yourself, but it didn't work for me. Um, the 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 cost of everything, especially after that first month when they start tacking in like your IFTAs and your toll costs and stuff like that, really start to add up. And there was a lot of times where I didn't have a positive paycheck doing it. But since I've been on company, I switched to company. I said, you know what, there's a lot of stress involved in this. There was a lot of negative checks, a lot of checks where I was not getting anything, no positives in there. And I run hard. Like, I run very hard. I run legally, but I do run hard. And so I switched to company driver, and man, let me be the first to tell you guys, it is a night and day difference. They take care of you guys on company. So it has been it's been honestly, they say it's 50 cents a mile, all miles loaded and empty. They're not lying. They do pay you all miles loaded and empty, and they pay practical miles. They don't do that zip code to zip code bullshit. They literally do whatever city you're in to the actual address to the destination. It's not city to city. They'll, like, say you're in like Chicago, but you waited over at a truck stop or something. They're not gonna pinpoint your exact location and pay you for it, but they will pay you the practical miles, and they will expect you to take the toll roads. They're not gonna try to route you around the tolls. The only one that I know that they don't like you to take is 76 in Pennsylvania, because that shit's expensive. So I can't blame them for that personally. But as far as that goes, things have been pretty good on the company driver side. There was a bit of mishap with my last check, which I'm gonna see if they fix or not. When I was on lease purchase, this last trip I was out for 48 days. In that trip, basically in that trip, I switched from lease purchase to company. Well, I had been on company for about 5 weeks. And then all of a sudden, I noticed my check, and it says a $500 late fee for pickup and delivery. Well, let me explain this load to you guys that they had given me. They didn't give me the delivery info on it. They just told me when it picks up and where it picks up and where it's going. But they didn't give me an appointment time or anything right off the bat, because I would have declined it when the time happened. So, what they did was, I was 130 miles away in Wisconsin, and they had me on a pickup at 2 p.m. in Chicago. So, but they didn't give that load to me until 1 o'clock. So I was already going to show up late regardless. So I thinking, okay, well, as long as I can get it there, I can get it there. So I showed up at about 3, and then it was going to, I believe, it was somewhere in Ohio or Pennsylvania, but it was 692 miles. So I didn't know until after they had already picked it up that it had to deliver 692 miles away at 3 o'clock the next morning. So I'm picking it up at 3 p.m. after already driven 130 miles, and it had to go 692 miles away and it deliver in 12 hours, essentially. So I remember when I finally got that information, I told them, like, hey, we need to change this. This is ridiculous. There's no way I can get this done legally. They said, well, just get it there as soon as you can. I said, okay. Well, I've been a company driver now well over a month, and my last paycheck had a $500 deduction taken out of it. And I said, well, that's not right. Why is there a deduction? They said, oh, that was a late pickup and late delivery. I said, it wasn't my fault it was a late pickup or late delivery. It was impossible. They do that. They do typically will give you expedited runs like that. There's no way to do it legally. And So I said there was no way to do it legally, and I was like, and second of all, I'm a company driver. Why am I being charged a late fee? And they said, well, this is the late fee for that trip. And you were an owner, a lease purchase driver at the time. So I said, I don't care if I was a lease purchase driver at that time. You guys need to fix that because I didn't want to do that load in the first place. Dispatch pushed it, and I had told them from the beginning there was no way I can get it done legally. So, and they pushed it. They kept saying, just run it, just run it, just run it, just run it. Okay, well, I can only do so much legally. You can't run, well over 800 miles in 11 hours in a truck that's governed at 69 miles an hour. You can't do it. So it was frustrating, and then they went home. This was on Friday, because you get paid Friday, but it doesn't show up into your bank account till Monday. But Friday afternoon, you'll get the email from them with your pay breakdown. And so I was looking, I was like, so I'm pretty sure that they're gonna fix that and square it up, because they're usually pretty good about it. Because I said I don't really care if I was an owner operator or lease purchase driver at that time. That's not right. And then to charge me, 6 weeks later. I understand how brokers work. I understand that, you submit the bills and they'll invoice you within, 30 to 60 days. But still, especially after I've been an established company driver for so long. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll square that up with me. The guy that does payroll, or the girl, I don't know. I've never actually, or it's a guy. His name's Roddy. He's pretty good about stuff like that. He's a really nice dude, so I'm pretty sure they'll square that up and not charge me for something like that. So we'll see. But anyway, as a company driver, though, I'll tell you, they do have 24/7 dispatch, but their dispatchers on the weekends are in Bulgaria. It's a Bulgarian-owned company, and they're actually out in Bulgaria, so they don't book and do loads. They basically are on standby to get you, comm checks, lumper stuff. If you have any issues with the load, they're there usually. But refrigerated warehouses, you'll learn a lot of them are closed on the weekends. So you will find yourself sitting a lot on the weekends. You may get like a Saturday delivery or a Sunday, but usually by Friday, especially if you're delivering a load on like Friday at like 10 in the morning, there's a good chance they might not have anything for you to do. But what I can say is those 5 to maybe 6 days you are running, you are going to hit pretty close to 3,000 miles. Especially if you go company driver, they give you really long lengths of haul. Like, I know I met another driver who hates it because he likes to do the little 500 or 600 mile bursts. And I love the long length of haul because you save your hours in the long run. It pays better. I mean, they consistently will give you, 1,1700 mile loads, like pretty easily. Like, they'll run you from the Northeast down to like Texas, and then 1,000 miles from Texas back up to Chicago, and then Chicago, another 1,000 miles back east. They do really, really long lengths of haul. So, that's something, and you'll get pretty damn close, and they do pay you 50 cents a mile for every mile loaded and empty. I will tell you this right now that a lot of drivers need to learn. They are 1099 here. This is a 1099 company. So a lot of people are turned off by that fact, but I'll tell you, I prefer 1,000 times over being a 1099 driver over a W-2 driver. The particular reason is, you pay a lot, you make more money, and you pay a lot less in taxes because you are technically qualified as an independent contractor. So things that you're going to spend money on anyway, like a cell phone bill. So your cell phone bill is 50% write-off. So if you spend $200 a month, you get to write off 100 of it on your taxes. If you buy yourself a computer, you get to write that off. That's 100% on your taxes, especially if it's a laptop that you take in the truck with you. If you have an extra bedroom in your house, you get to write off that if say your house is 1,000 square feet and the room is 250 square feet, you get to basically write off 25% of your rent or mortgage because you need a home office. So to do your paperwork and stuff. So, and this is stuff that's all legal. So, and then, every receipt you spend, every little dollar you spend is essentially it's a tax write-off, especially for things like clothes, boots, glasses, contacts, stuff to clean the truck with, everything is a tax write-off. And I'll give you an example. I have a friend of mine that made $72,000 as a 1099 truck driver, didn't pay $1 in taxes throughout the year, filed his taxes, and after his quote-unquote write-offs and per diem and all that, the government still paid him $140. He got back $140 after making over $70,000 without paying $1 in taxes. So this is what I'm talking about. So you just got to know how to do it and what receipts to save and how to manage it. But personally, I prefer to be a 1099 driver, so that's something. Another thing that Prime, I don't know if they don't tell you on purpose or what, but another thing is whether you go company driver or owner-operator, there is a security deposit. So this is something that's going to drive a lot of people crazy when they go to orientation. Is if you are a company driver, it's $1,000. If you're a lease purchase, it's a $1,500. And they can do that legally because you are technically an independent contractor. So it's perfectly, to me, it didn't matter because I bring my dogs with me. So that it isn't $1,000 and then you have to pay a pet deposit or rider deposit or whatever. It's $1,000 and you can bring as many pets with you as you want. You can bring riders with you. I believe with kids they have to be over either 13 or 18. I can't remember, but you can bring all that with you and they don't charge you any extra. And then when you quit, as long as the truck's returned to them, I don't believe it even matters the condition that it's in. As long as the truck is returned to them, they will give you your money back. So, and they don't take it all right away either. It's not like one big, I believe for company drivers, they take $200 a week, or $100 a week over period, and they deduct that. But that's something to think about as well. So they do that, and they do it for the owners as well. But like in my case, they were cool enough to say, well, your owner deposit was $1,500 and now you're a company driver, so we're going to give you back that other $500. They were cool about that. I didn't even ask. Like, I completely forgot about it, and they were like, here you go. Also, I got a clean inspection and they paid me $150 for it, and it was just a level 3. So they said, hey, I said, oh, I got another clean inspection because this is the second one since I've been at the company, and this is where the level 3s, they don't do a walk around the truck. They do check your logs and stuff, but this company, because they do operate on paper, they do have a lot of guys that get shut down for log issues. Log issues are huge at this company, and I don't know why. We get the texts all the time. Make sure you actually stop, the 8-hour, 30-minute break rule, and you actually take a 10-hour. And because I'm assuming drivers keep getting shut down, and we do get a lot of level 3s. We do not have pre-pass in these trucks for scale, so you do pull in to every scale, and especially in like Colorado and stuff like that. I've actually had 3 inspections technically. I had one in Missouri and both the other 2 were in Colorado. So, but this last one, I didn't even think about it. I just sent in the form because I got my inspection. I sent it in my little trip pack. So they picked, and they paid me $150 for it. So that was kind of cool. Another thing you may or may not like about Prime Logistics is their setup with payroll. That they can be pretty frustrating because I'll break it down. They have to have the bills. They do not have scanning. They do not allow scanning at all. Not email scanning, TransFlow, TripPack app, nothing. There is 0 scanning at this company. 0. Zip zilch. So they need to have the bills in their hand on Monday morning if you're going to get paid for them on Friday. Well, Monday afternoon by like 4 or 5. So they do need those bills in their hand. So if you want to get paid on a load and you do trip pack boxes, they don't, like I said, they don't allow the app, but you can do the boxes. You drop the envelope in the boxes. So what you have to do if you really want to get paid on a load is, say you delivered the load Thursday after, or even any time after Wednesday. You know how trip pack boxes work. They have a pickup time. If you miss that pickup time on Wednesday and you try to send it in Thursday morning, it takes 2 to 3 business days, and they're not going to get it till Tuesday. And usually with trip pack, I know it's UPS that does it. It's going to take the better end, or of that 2 to 3 days, the longer end of that. They're going to get it there on the 3rd day. And so what I do is every of the major truck stops, especially the big 4, Pilot, Flying J, TA, Petro, or Big Five, I should say, and Loves, they all have Trip Pack overnight. It's $21. The company does not reimburse you for that, unfortunately. But again, you can use that as your receipt for your write-off later. So, and you have to pay to have it overnighted if you want to get paid for it. So it's, like I said, it's $20.95, I believe, and I've had to do it a few times. A lot of the time, though, the cool thing is, like I said, they do like to run the Midwest to the Northeast. A lot of the times you pass through Chicago. They do a lot of pickups in, like, the Chicagoland area. And if you have to go 30 or 40 miles out of route to bring them the bills, you can bring them in anytime by Monday afternoon, and you'll get paid for them on Friday. So that's just something to keep in mind. I did talk to a driver who actually likes that, because it takes a little while to get pay built up, but this way when he goes home, he's still getting paid a couple weeks out while he's at home. So that is something to consider with these guys. Like I said, I'm much happier as a company driver over a lease purchase driver. Like I said, I got a few really good checks when I was a lease purchase, a few really good ones, but unfortunately I needed something a little bit more consistent. And they, especially when they start running the Northeast, because like I said, these guys do run the Northeast a lot. You got to be really comfortable with the Northeast. So, yeah. So you're running the Northeast. The cost of fuel was high. The cost of tolls was high. I said I would rather prefer to go company. But like I said, once you're on the company side, it's 50 cents a mile, all miles loaded and empty. If you do have big delays at a shipper getting picked up, or you're at a delivery and it's taking 10 hours to unload you, you get that written down on the bills. The consignee or the shipper will sign it, and they're going to pay. They won't pay you for it, but they'll pay you a percentage of whatever the broker pays. So, but they won't pay you unless the broker pays up. So that's something to think about. Another thing to look at too is that you are a technical 1099 driver, which classifies you as an independent contractor. You're just using their equipment. So I believe that would kind of classify you as a subcontractor, or I don't know. I don't know the difference really, but a 1099 puts you in a position where they cannot tell you what to do. So even if you are not forced dispatch at this company, by law, they cannot force dispatch you, nor do they try. They will try to push a load on you, but if you tell them no, they can't make you do it. So that's something to think about. You are not forced dispatch, and they cannot tell you by law how long you can be home for. So if you go out for 3 weeks and you want to go home for 5 days, by law you have to do. They don't have to accommodate it. They can say, if that's the case, bring the truck back to Chicago and then go home as long as you want, and you'll have a truck ready when you get back. I've never heard of them doing that. They don't do it to me. So, but like I said, I was out for 48 days and I'm going to be home for about a week. So, yeah, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions about Prime Logistics. I'm sure a lot of people have seen them on Facebook. Their number is 888-919-8181. So if there's some things that come up, some things that confuse you or whatever, you're welcome to ask me on here. I'll give you my my Facebook account. We can link up on Facebook or whatever. You can text me as well. I'll put my number on there. So good luck, drivers. Like I said, if you have any questions, give me a holler, or talk to you later.